Hello, Locks family. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I hope that you would consider staying a while. And if you are a part of the Lock family and you are back with me again, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so glad that you're here with me today. And you know what? Happy Memorial Day to all of you out there that are celebrating today. Thank you for your service, for all of you that have been in the forces, so thank you guys for your service. I just got from outside. It's like hot as hell out here where I'm at, so it was pretty hot, but I thought I'd come in here and chime in and do a quick video on what not to do when you are looking for a loctician, when you are looking to get your sister locks established. That is basically what we are going to be talking about today, what not to do. Let me turn this little music down. Don't want no but anyways, so we are gonna start on that, and once again I will be putting on my handy dandy glasses because it helps me to see a whole lot better. That's better. Anyway, so basically I guess I will start from the beginning, from when I first wanted to get sister locks in my hair. I didn't know anything about sister locks, to be honest with you. Although I wasn't here for years, but I did the traditional type of hair stuff. I went to hair school, did all that kind of stuff, and had been in hair for years and years. The only thing I knew about locks was the regular traditional type of locks. I knew about the other ones like the Congos or the free forming locks. So those were pretty much the only locks that I knew about. And I actually still wanted to learn about doing those because at that time, a lot of people was rocking those, and I wanted to be able to learn how to do that. And there was a time where I actually even considered putting traditional locks in my hair. But when I went to go see someone, they told me that my hair was a little bit too fine and thin for that, and that over time, once they got heavy, it would just cause a whole lot more thinning. So and then I think they had mentioned, like, why don't you go ahead and try sister locks out? So I was all like, oh, okay, what's that? She went into telling me a little bit about sister locks, what they were, and all that other kind of stuff. Then I ended up running across a woman who had them, and on a bus one day, and I remember being so amazed at, what they looked like, just even amazed that it was her real hair, because I was all like, wow, like, because her hair was like, past her, collarbone or whatever like that. I guess they might have been shoulder length, but I just remember being really amazed and really, really loving just how thin they was and how versatile, and how when she was moving, they moved, and it just really appealed to me. And just being a hair person, just seeing any kind of new style, we're pretty like, wanting to know, or at least I'm the type that always want to know what a new style is, and just to stay update with things. But anyways, I asked her who did she get them from. There wasn't a lot of people at that time that was actually doing sister locks in Boston. I think there were like maybe one or two people, and so she mentioned the person, but by the time I left, I didn't know how to get in touch or find out. So like actually a couple of years had passed by. This is how many people didn't have sister locks at that time. This was up in Boston at the time, but it was I don't know. I can't. I'm trying to remember when was it. I don't know if it was like the 90s, early 90s, or something like that. It was in the 90s. I ended up running into another lady, but by the time I ran into this lady, I got some more information, so I ended up finding out that there was a website. So I was like, oh, okay, there's a website. And she was like, yeah, just go da da da. And then that way you can look at the locks, you can see this and that. And so I was all like, oh, yeah, okay, so that's cool. I'll definitely go from there. But this is with me. I'll tell you guys, one of the main things that, trust me, just save you some time, save you some trouble is, for one, don't be like me and not do your research. So you definitely, before you decide to get sister locks, because even though more and more people are getting sister locks and have them now, there's still a lot of people who's getting on the bandwagon to get sister locks, and they don't, a lot of them are just as lost as I was at the time. So basically, do your research, meaning now, because it's so much information out here on it, go to YouTube, look at some videos, look at a few videos of what people are saying. Find out. You can go to the Sister Locks website, go to www.sisterlocks.com, and then you're going to look at finding a consultant or a trainee or approved trainee in your area. So they cover all the states, so you'll be able to find someone in that state. Now, once I found that information out, I was like, oh, okay, cool, cool, cool. Now I know where to go from here. But the thing is that another thing that I didn't realize was that it was going to be way, way better for me to have a consultation with more than one person. I found one person on the website, ended up calling her. I asked her, could I come in and see her and all that other kind of stuff? And she was just like, yeah, set the appointment up. I was so excited. I was just like so amped that I just was like, all right, cool, cool, cool. I just set it up. Like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do this and that. And honestly speaking, in my head, it wasn't even that I would not have searched and had other consultations. It's just that I just straight up didn't know. I thought I was just like, yo, I'm lucky I got somebody the first time. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get this consultation. And it's cool. Now, each person, each loctician, this is going to be based on what they decide to do. Some might charge you for a consultation. Some may not. I feel like the consultation should be free, like to introduce you to Sister Locks and what you will be getting yourself into and all that other kind of stuff. And make sure that when you do, I would suggest you do 3, to be honest, to be real thorough, because this is the person who you're going to be with for a good while, who you're going to have to be sitting here getting your retightenings from, who's going to have to establish you. Your establishment may take 1 day, or it could take 3 days, depending on your hair, how thick it is, how whatever. It's just going to all depend. So, with that said, anyway, so my day comes where I'm going to, I'm all hyped up and happy. I mean, I was so happy. I get to the lady's house, and when I get there was still someone in her seat. Now, and she just was like, okay, just go ahead and, have a seat over there. I'll be with you in a minute, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. So I was like, all right, okay, cool. Like, and I mean, I've been in the hair thing before. I worked in the salon before, so I know how that is. Sometimes it is like that, where it can be busy, and so I didn't think a whole bunch of it. But then she was just like, she called me in and was like, okay, nah, come here, hold on a minute. As a matter of fact, oh, sit over here. So she told the girl to sit over, just go ahead and take a seat real quick while she do a quick consultation. But at that point, I was all like, a quick consultation? I was all like, what is she trying to do? So she sat me down in the seat. It was, so she sat me down in the seat. She just like kind of went in my head real quick, looked at my hair. She asked me a few questions. She put a few like test locks in there, and it was just like, oh, okay, do you have any questions for me? And I'm just all like, well, is that for first? Okay, so first of all, for you to have a proper consultation, number one, it should be your time. It's not supposed to be somebody sitting there while she drops you in the chair real quick just to zip through your hair real fast so she can go back to her client that she wasn't even finished with. That right there was like, no, number one. Okay, so she ended up just doing like some real quick, fast consultation with me that I absolutely was not, I was not satisfied with that. But did I say it to her? And I was just like, no, I didn't sit there and tell her, I was not satisfied, because I still felt like I didn't really know as much as I needed to know. So don't do that. If you go to a consultation, for one, if the person is not completely giving you their undivided attention, and so that they can clearly do a thorough analysis of your hair, tell you about what type of hair you got, tell you, you know, if your hair is a good match for getting sister locks, kind of examine your hair a little bit, you know, to see what may be going on in your hair and say, hey, you know, if you have something going on, some thinning or whatever they feel like is going on, hey, you need to take this care of this before you even decide to put this in. Some people want to put color in their hair, this and that. There's a lot of questions, a lot of things that now I have later learned myself. Once I started doing it, I realized how you should thoroughly and professionally give a consultation with someone. So I asked a few little things, and she just was on some like, well, I gotta finish up her hair, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. It was like I was like bothering her like to finish up what she was doing. Now, realistically, I should have just was like deuces on that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I'm out. Like, cause I definitely honor people that act professionally, conduct themselves in a professional manner. You don't go ahead and schedule a consultation like that with somebody and then just like treat them like that. That's just not what you do. So just know that if you get in a situation and it's not all about you, and that you're not getting all of your questions answered and all of that, then it's like chuck them deuces for real, because they're not the one. But did I listen to that? No, I didn't listen to that. I still decided that I'm gonna go ahead and at least before I left, got like when she was gonna be able to do it, because I still just was like so amped about getting them done. So we picked a day. It was a 2-day process with my hair. So when I went, the day that I went to go get my hair done, so she did tell me like, okay, bring your lunch, bring you some breakfast, or whatever, things that make you comfortable, wear comfortable clothes, because you are going to be sitting there for a while, and all of that other type of good stuff. So I'm like, okay, cool, all right, okay, cool. So I ended up doing that. But the first day that I gets over there, she's sitting me in a chair telling me, make sure you wash your hair, make sure you don't have nothing in your hair, no products on nothing. So you definitely have to make sure when you're getting your installation, there's going to be no products in your hair. It's going to go just bone dry, right? You're going to have all your stuff. You're going to be comfortable. All that stuff's going to be in place. So I get there. She's like on phones, doing different, okay, sit down, da-da-da-da. That's another thing. She's talking while she's working. If you're doing getting ready to hook someone up, you're not supposed to be on the phones talking, all this kind of stuff. Then a little bit after, like a group of her friends come over. Now we're not talking about like teenage people here or even young 20 adults. We talk about older folks, like like people that should know better. Like they in their late 40s to early 50s. This is what I'm talking about. They come through like, hey girl, just like coming in where we're at. What's up? We here to grill out at your house. We did, and then she's like, hold on, the stuff is in there. They're cussing across, calling each other bees, this, that, all some stuff. I was like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. Like, what, like, no type of issue with the fact that her friends is coming up in here, like, while you got this new client that's trying to get her likes. Listen, I just was like, what is going on? Like, so she sends them out, they going out there fixing things here and there periodically, they're coming back in, she's starting like, all right, let's get started, da-da-da. She's doing her thing, and it's like hurting like hell. And that's another damn thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do another video on, like, if your retightenings are hurting, you are with the wrong person. Okay, so I'm sitting here like this, like, god damn, is this supposed to hurt like this? Like, that's how it is. Like, this and just like rough handed, this and that. But at the same time, like I said, I did not have enough information. Even though I knew, and that I was like, damn, this don't feel right, but I wasn't for sure if that was how it goes. And I wasn't for sure if your head was supposed to hurt. Like, okay, this is just how it is when you do it in the beginning, and then later it doesn't. I had no reference points. So that's the thing. If you don't do your research and understand and know that somebody giving you an installation damn sure ain't supposed to hurt like that. And when you're doing retightness, it's not supposed to hurt like that. So, and a lot of it ends up having to do with the tools and all that other kind of stuff. When you go check a look at that video I did on the tools, like it's like it now that I have the information 6 years later, I understand so much more better. And it was a point where I was like, so it had got to a point where it just was hurting too goddamn much, and she was like pulling and doing just a little bit too much. So I was telling her about it, and then she just went on some real ghetto shit. Was like, well, you know what? I could just take this out right now, and you could just go find somebody else. And I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, for real. Like, I don't got to look at your hair. Like, I mean, it's thin up here anyway. That like, I mean, she started like, listen, let me tell you something, right? I look. Boy, my temperature was rising. Like the way it was like she got disrespectful, like point blank, period. It was like some disrespectful ish, right? And I was like, she had already finished a good amount of it, and just the fact that she was even saying that she was gonna like, I could take them out, this and that. I'm already, just as a hair person, knowing like, as small as these goddamn locks is, there's no goddamn way that she's gonna be like what the hell, she gonna send me home to take this shit out? And even if I do try to take it out, that's gonna be mad damage, because these are so and I just said, okay, this was one times that I had to bite my tongue down, so like I really had to. And thank God at the time my boyfriend was there, and he had to just talk me down, because I was all like, oh my God. And you know, just deciding the size of the locks that I was going to have in my head, just everything, it just was not going right. So it was red signs everywhere. And I'm just telling you, when you deal with somebody that's like that, like as soon as you see them red signs, as soon as you see that they're not being professional and they rolling like that, I don't care how old they are. Like I actually had expected more from this person because of the age she was, but that didn't mean a goddamn thing to her. Like it was what it was. So I was just so like, okay, like I ended up, and still again, because I didn't have the information, I figured I was too far in it. I was like, okay, Faith, just get through this shit. Just get through it. Just get it done. And then after that, just be like, yo, you're out. So I ended up just like being like, so I said something to her, like to the effect of like, just like to kind of like calm the situation down. I don't remember what I said to her, but I said something to like to switch it up, like to just and change the subject. Like, yo, come on now, I really want to get my hair done. Let's just go ahead and finish. We already started. It don't make no sense. I'm not gonna start over. So you know what I'm saying? Let's just go ahead and finish it up. I ended up finishing it. Like we got like more than half of it done that day. I think we did like 12 hours. And the next day, I went and just like finished it up and all that other kind of stuff. And you would think it actually, when it got done, I will say to her credit, when it did get done, I actually really liked it. Now, it was like a 50-50, because to be honest with you, at that particular time, I didn't realize if there could have been, obviously it probably could have been somebody else that could have did my hair just as well, and without all of the shenanigans and all that other type of stuff, and it could have been fine. But at that time, so I had got this done almost 6.5 years ago. So at that time, I just didn't know. So I dealt with all the BS and ended up getting my retightness from her, which was hurting like hell. And I just figured, like, because I didn't have an unreference, and it didn't even dawn on me, like, yo, you could go ahead and just switch with somebody. Like, even though I was thinking of it, I just still was like, didn't know enough people around. It was scarce. Like the locticians was like scarce in the area. So I really did, this was just so new to me. So it was some straight up trial and error, y'all. I kid you not. It was trial and error. So, but what I will say to you is, now there is no excuse for you to have to stay with a loctician that you are not happy with. If your hair, if you are getting your hair retightened and it hurts like goddamn hell, that is not the type of loctician you want, because that person is damaging your locks. They're damaging. They're probably pulling and doing everything else. I later found out how many clients this person had, and she just had like it gets to the point where the integrity goes out the window when you decide, because the money comes in, people start getting a little bit greedy with the money, and then they just was like, cause she was just rolling people in and out like 3 clients at a time. And if anybody who does this knows, you put 3 people on your roster every day of the week, Monday through Friday and Saturday, and maybe you're taking a rest on Sunday, but you're doing that, and you got 2 to 3 everything. That is a listen. You are overdoing it, and that's like it's like a assembly line. That's just the way it is, and you're not. There's no way that a person is going to be able to keep up the integrity of your locks or put the care in your hair that is needed when they're turning it into like a assembly line. That's point blank period. It's not going to happen. It's just like trying to do too many things at one time and thinking that this is going to come out the best when if you focus on maybe one thing, maybe a second thing, then you can kind of like even it out. But you start spreading yourself thin, ain't going to happen. Any old ways, it got to the point where I was like, okay, it's time for me to change. It's time for me to look for somebody else. And when I finally started doing it, it was like a professional attitude at that. Like, oh well, oh, so I ain't seen you, and this is that. See, when you going through all that uncomfortable stuff, this is and that, you have to go. Do not be afraid to leave, because that's another thing. Some people don't know how to, because you're going to deal with it. This is a straight up fact. No matter how they try to come at you, no matter how, whatever, like it's about you, the health of your hair, and your good earned money that you're paying for. So you're gonna have to just stand up for yourself. You're gonna come across locticians that are gonna just be ignorant, like point blank period. You're just gonna come across some people that are gonna be like that. You're gonna come across some nice ones. You're gonna come across some wonderful ones. I've met some really great, professional, beautiful other locticians that keep their place nice. You feel comfortable. It's so professional. I've run across that. But I've also had experience now with those that are not as professional. So you want to make sure, do not be like me and stay your behind there way longer than you should and be suffering in silence because you don't have the information or you have not done your research. So that is the main thing that you want to make sure that you do, so that you can avoid all the pitfalls that your girl went through and suffered silently through, because y'all, those days are gone. We don't have to do that anymore because there is a plethora of information out here for all of us, and we don't have to go through that anymore. Okay, so the moral of this story is don't do what I did and follow the suggestions that I gave you. You're going to go ahead and do your research. You're going to look up YouTube videos. You're going to watch countless numbers of those, because you'll have that. You're going to go on that Sister Lock website. You're going to read all the information, the people. You're going to go ahead and get yourself 2 or 3 consultants, and then you're going to pick from those 3. If you feel any kind of way, just, go by your gut. If you don't feel comfortable with somebody, you switch to another one, because you will be very, very pleasantly surprised that they have some really professional and nice locticians out there. All of us are not created equal, so you can really run into some really great people that will tell you about your hair and give you all of the good information that you will need about your hair, and suggestions and all of that kind of stuff. So trust me, just go ahead and do a little bit of research and you will be so much happier for it. So I am going to say good luck for all of you guys out here that want to join the Sister Lock family. Sister Locks are beautiful. I do love the style. I'm still wearing the style. If I could add anything else, just understand that it is a journey. Sister Locks is a journey. It is a process. It's going to be some ups and some downs. And the word of the day with these Sister Locks is patience. 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 Did I say patient? Patience. It's going to take a lot of patience, but if you have patience, it is going to pay off for you in the long run. Just if you remember those things and just Make sure you're patient with it. Wear your silk scarves and different things like that. If you want color in your hair, do it prior to putting it in. I would say don't put it in, because to me it's still going to dry it out, and you're going to have to deal with this whole situation is already dry. So if you color your hair, you're just going to make it even drier, and then you're going to have to wait before you can put different things in your hair, like they tell you no oils or whatever, but there will be times where you might want to hit your scalp later down the line, because that is what I do. So, but any old ways, with all of that said, try to cut this short, not be so long-winded, but I wish you all luck in your journey to sister locks, because it can be, it is a beautiful style, and if you follow those things that I told you, you can have a successful journey with your sister locks. Until next time, peace and love, and I will see you in the next one. Please like, share, and subscribe if you found some value here at my channel. I truly appreciate it. Later, guys.